Hey everyone, this is Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology, and today we are going to take another look at Venus's trine to Uranus. Venus is in Capricorn, making a trine to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. This is happening at the time of our solstice here, and as Venus is appearing as an evening star. I took some time to dive into Venus and Uranus yesterday. We're going to do so again today, but I thought we'd have a little bit of fun with this, and I have I have the charts of 5 famous Venus-Uranus divas that I think you guys will like, and that really, in different ways, exemplify the Venus-Uranus dynamic in their career and in major breakthroughs or moments of great success in their career, where that Venus-Uranus dynamic is strongly expressed in their career as an artist. So I took the word diva with devotion. The word diva means goddess. Or it means a fine lady. So we're going to look at some fine ladies, some divas today who were born with Venus trine Uranus. Before we do that, don't forget today to like and subscribe, share a few comments in the comments section. You can find transcripts of any of my daily talks on my website, which is nightlightastrology.com. Don't forget, right now we are on our way to trying to rally the support of 1,608 backers by New Year's Eve. We have about like 11 days to go as of the time that I'm recording this, and we are on our way toward 800 backers right now. So we're almost halfway there, but we need a big rally of support here in the last days to make it across the finish line, reach our goal. Don't forget that when you can find the link to the Kickstarter, in the description of this video or the comment section below. You go over there. If you pitch in $5, $10 just to say, hey, you're a regular listen, I love your channel, I really get something good out of your work, whether you're a student of astrology or just a casual listener. If you appreciate this channel, a lot of hard work and time and energy goes into it, pitching in to help support me, my staff, and some of our big goals, like the creation of an affordable reading service for people, so that you guys who want a reading and maybe are on a tighter or limited budget can have a reading from some of my best and brightest students. They get a chance to get to earn a little bit of money and to gain experience, which is super vital when you're first starting out. So this service is something we're going to develop through the Kickstarter if it goes off, when we'll have you guys to thank for that if it does. So pitch in if you're able to, and thank you so much to 7 going on 800 people who have already donated. We deeply, deeply appreciate it. Can't do this work without you. And we hope that you will enjoy the content that we make, myself and my team, every day in 2023, and hopefully for many years to come. I've been doing this as the 9th year doing the Kickstarter, and the channel has grown, the work has grown, the school has grown, the scholarships and everything good that we try to give back has all grown through the Kickstarter. So I owe so much to people who listen to my daily content and like it enough and say good things about it, tell other people about it, and at the end of the year pitch in. So thank you guys. Pick a reward when you donate. Don't forget you can get 50% off all of my online classes, or you can get up to 75% off if you bundle 4 of those classes together. We have some of those packages left over. There are readings and other kinds of talks I do on the astrology of 2023 or your year ahead horoscope for the next year. So pick a reward. We try to give something good back to you in exchange for your support as well. All right. Well, let's just refresh on the astrology and the timing of what we're looking at before we get into our divas of the day. I think this is going to be really fun today. So here we go. So you can see, let's move this to later this week. So here we are on Wednesday. Happy solstice to everybody. If you didn't see the video that I did on the solstice on Monday, we did a prep video for that, looking at the Sun square Jupiter, Jupiter entering Aries. So go check that one out if you are looking for some solstice content. I sort of did it a little early this week to prepare everyone. Now we're really looking at Venus perfecting its trine to Uranus, as Venus is also appearing as the evening star, which is the other major news of the week. I feel like this one is really significant since Venus is also carrying the significations into visible manifestation from the solar eclipse in late October, where Venus was at the heart of the sun right around the time of the eclipse. So this is a powerful moment for Venus. Venus really has a lot to say right now. Coming through a trine to Uranus, I feel like it's a good time to really deeply explore the archetype of Venus and Uranus, which we started to do yesterday and will continue to do today. So Venus will go through that trine between today, December 21st, and Thursday, December 22nd. And you'll be feeling that energy all the way really until Saturday, December 24th, Christmas Eve, if you're celebrating. So what I did today was I decided, I was like, we need like, I've been in this like tribute to the goddess mode this week. I wrote a poem to Venus that I read yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So what I did was I looked up famous women in music or art or film, true to Venus, right? Who were born with a Venus-Uranus trine. Now, not exactly Taurus and Capricorn, because it's been 80 years or whatever, 80 plus years since Venus has been in Taurus, right? So I just did any kind of Venus-Uranus trine, and I came up with five divas that we're going to look at. The diva, the word diva, a fine lady, a goddess. So these are fine ladies, five divas. And whether you like them or not, or you're a fan of them or not, I hope on an archetypal level, this will be inspiring and interesting to look at. Before I do that, I want to remind you of some of the basic archetypal signatures, but I left my book in my closet where I study. So it's weird. Hold on. All right, so we're going to take a look at the Venus-Uranus pairing through the lens. Just a quick refresh from the Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler. This will just be a way of kind of refreshing us before we look at these fine divas today. All right. Venus-Uranus from the Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler. Relationship breakthroughs, a rebirth of love and friendship, feelings of romantic electricity and excitement, a colorful and eccentric sense of style, social sparkle, and fun, romantic and social restlessness, cravings for sexual freedom, disruptive affairs and triangle situations, sudden attraction without substance, aesthetic disharmony, the magic of love, feelings of rebirth in friendships and relationships, etc. Cravings for social stimulation, a bright, fun, and vivacious nature, a bubbly and effervescent style, sparkling appeal, colorful eccentricity, the life of the party, fun, magic moments, happy surprises, beautiful energies. My heart is like a singing bird. Quote from Christina Rossetti, who was born with Venus square Uranus. A flashing, striking, or electric beauty, a bright smile, sugar and spice, sudden awakenings to beauty, ecstatic or emancipating beauty, liberation from beauty issues. Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety, says Shakespeare, who was born with Venus opposite Uranus. Artistic breakthroughs, aesthetic epiphanies, romantic electricity and excitement, spontaneous intimacy and exhilaration, love at first sight, attraction to people outside of one's usual social sphere, attempts at a polyamory or open marriage, yearnings for free love, social rebellion, a series of marriages, feelings of pleasure and abandoned, erotic emancipation, breakthroughs through one's sexuality. So you guys get the feeling of Venus-Uranus. And I didn't read the shadow side. There is sort of a shadow side that we can look at too, but those are the sort of most electric and exciting qualities. So we are now going to look at five Venus-Uranus divas. These are people who were born, five women, rock stars of women, who were born with Venus trine to Uranus, just as it is in the sky right now. Now, there's variations in terms of the signs that they're in and everything like that. I'm not going to actually pull up their birth charts, but I guess I'll pull up some pictures of them. Let's see if I can do this here. Yeah, I think I can. I'm going to pull this over here. Hold on, I've got to do a little finagling so that I can get this right. All right, this ought to be good. Okay, so now I can sort of really go full. We're gonna do this. Okay, there we go. So the first one, oh wait, can I? There we go. Okay, I've got it. Sorry guys, I'm just like manipulating my screen so that I can see everything I need to see at the same time. All right, there we go. Now we should be good. All right, so the first born with Venus trine Uranus is Lady Gaga. Now, let's just put her, there she is. So I got a picture of all the divas. Now, Lady Gaga was born with Venus trine Uranus, and I think, like, I don't know, I feel like it's almost like I'm gonna put up some of these divas, and you're gonna go, well, of course, like you're gonna be like, you don't need to say anything. But what I find interesting is that some of the albums that really were what you could call breakthrough albums, two of them early in her career. The first, her debut studio album was called The Fame. And I thought it was really interesting because the Fame, a lot of it is about love, sex, money, drugs, and sexual identity. Listen to Beautiful, Dirty, Rich, some lyrics from the album Fame. We got a red light, pornographic dance fight, systematic honey, but we got no money. Our hair is perfect while we were all getting shit wrecked. It's automatic honey, but we got no money. We live a cute life, sound fanatic, pants tighter than plastic honey, but we got no money. We do the dance right. We've got it made like ice cream topped with honey, but we got no money. Bang, bang, we're beautiful and dirty rich. Dirty, dirty, rich, dirty, dirty, rich, beautiful. Bang, bang, we're beautiful and dirty rich. So this is, in some ways, Ladies got. If you've never heard her before, it almost sounds like, oh, well, that's kind of shallow. She is, as I think most of you know who have listened to any of her music, she is an incredibly talented, eccentric, otherworldly goddess of an artist. She really is, and she has an amazing talent that has written about so many different things. But what I love about this album is that it's a celebration of very Venusian things. And I'm not suggesting that you go out and just become some kind of terrible materialistic person. I don't think that's at all what Lady Gaga is, at least my impressions of her as an artist and so forth. But in this opening album of her career, or at least one of the ones that, like, I think it was her debut. Yeah, it was her debut album. There's a real celebration of things like sex, money, fame, etc. And it's defiant. It's very defiant in that sense. And I'm not saying, like, of course, there's been a lot of albums written like that. But then she goes on in another album that comes out. Her second album was called Born This Way. And I think it's really fascinating because in that album, she goes on to deepen and sort of double down on some of the rebellious themes. That album has a lot to do with sex, religion, the need for freedom, feminism, individuality, and individualism. Very Venus-Uranus. I wish I could show you the cover of Born This Way if you've never seen it before. But so she has become an icon, a diva who represents being your damn self and loving what you love. And she is like a poster child for Venus-Uranus. So that's Lady Gaga, number one. And I wish I was more of a Lady Gaga expert and I could really break it down. I'm not. I just have always appreciated her. She reminds me of it's not really a fair comparison because David Bowie was like such a, he came at a different time historically that was, in some ways much more gargantuan, the 60s and so forth. But she's a game changer. She's changed the landscape of music and women in music and so forth. So anyway, let's go to number two. Number two on the list is Ariana Grande. And let me just put up a picture of her next. So let's see if I can do this. All right, so here is Ariana Grande. And what I find fascinating about her, let's see, here we go. Yeah. So she's another, obviously she's a super famous musician. Probably a lot of you know her or like her. Whether you do or don't, what I find so interesting is her career and various aspects of her career and how they've evolved and what she's known for. So, for example, one of the things that she did was she got really experimental at one point in her career, and I'm just reading through what I wrote down. So she started exploring with EDM, going from a poppier sound to a more EDM sound. I find that to be a very Venus Uranus kind of thing, to become really experimental at some point. She had an album called Sweetener, and I think what was the God is a Woman. That is the most Venus Uranus. Like, if you've heard the album Sweetener, I think it may or may not be your thing, but some of the things that she writes about, specifically like that song God is a Woman, are fantastically Venus Uranus. And there's other examples too in her career of the Venus Uranus dynamic. Break up with your girlfriend. That's definitely dangerous. Okay, so one of her albums is literally called Dangerous Woman. Dangerous Woman is let me just pulling up. I have a bunch of tabs open. Sorry, guys. So yeah, and this is it was very again, like a lot of her albums, like they went from poppy to more and more experimental. It depends on what your definition of experimental, I guess, is. But yeah, so where is, yeah, there's, let's see here. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so this is interesting. So she announced the new title of the album, Dangerous Woman, on February 22nd, 2016, through her Snapchat and Twitter accounts. The following day, she posted on Instagram with a caption quoting Egyptian feminist writer Nawal el-Saadawi's 1975 novel, Woman at Point Zero, as follows. They said, "You are a savage and dangerous woman. I am speaking the truth, and the truth is savage and dangerous." So anyway, I thought that was, just again, a very strong example of a Venus Uranus diva. So, and again, I apologize. There's probably fans out there who know these singers so much better than I do. So I apologize if I'm sort of like underwhelming in my explanations of their Venus Uranus symbolism. But the God is a Woman song in particular, to me, is like such a perfect example from Ariana Grande of the Venus Uranus dynamic in her chart. So, all right. All right. So number 3, and this is one that I kind of threw in to be a little bit different. This is Uma Thurman. Now, I have a picture too. So this is Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace from Pulp Fiction. So this was her breakthrough role, and it earned her a nomination for Best Supporting Actress at the Academy Awards. And she also ends up, Mia Wallace ends up becoming a kind of a cultural icon in cinema. Okay, and if you've seen Pulp Fiction, and Uma Thurman's career and many other aspects of her career are very Venus Uranus, but this one to me is a really striking example, since again it was her breakthrough into artistic success, which is a very Venus Uranus dynamic in and of itself. So if you look at Venus Uranus women and their breakthroughs, or anyone for that matter, we're looking at divas today. So if you look at Venus Uranus women and their breakthroughs, their role that breaks them through, their album, song, etc., will often be such a total embodiment of Venus Uranus itself. And I find that kind of mirroring to be just really fascinating. So these are some of my, there's just a few quotes from Pulp Fiction. Let's see, where is it? Oh man. I have a list of quotes here from her, and if I can find it, I don't know if you guys love Pulp Fiction like I do, but do. Hold on. Somehow I had it up and I lost it. So we're gonna find it because it's like my favorite line, and suddenly I'm just like, okay, well, where is it? Okay, here. Okay, this is the famous one. I do believe Marcellus Wallace, my husband, your boss, told me to take me out and do whatever I wanted. Now, I want to dance. I want to win. I want that trophy. So dance good. So she's out and she's like, the wife of Marcellus Wallace, who is John Travolta's boss, and it's like, she's demanding that he do something that is sort of illicit, like, come and dance with me. So Venus is not to be owned or possessed, and it's such a classic line, and the dance scene in Pulp Fiction between Travolta and Mia Wallace is classic as well. She says, besides, isn't it more exciting when you don't have permission? Oh, that's great. Oh my God. Let's see. There's so many other quotes. Let's see. True love manifests only when the love is shared. Until that point, what you have isn't really love. Until you fully know someone, you can't love that person for the right reasons. It's a very Venus-Uranus thing to say. Two people in love, alone, isolated from the world, that's beautiful. Life is too short to play games. If you love someone and want to be with them, then go get them. Deal with the mess later. You don't know what tomorrow will bring. Just classic effort lines from Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace. I don't know if you guys know that movie, but it's, she's a classic. The other thing that I think it's a little bit more unfortunate, it's not like as fun, but is also important to mention, is that Uma Thurman, it was someone who came out about her experience with Harvey Weinstein in the Me Too movement. So she revealed that she'd been sexually assaulted at age 16 by an actor that was 20 years older than her, and that Weinstein had sexually assaulted her in 1994 in London, and was a part of the kind of growing of the Me Too movement as it was happening. She was interviewed, and when asked, she first said no comment because she said she was too angry to talk about it. And a few weeks later, through an Instagram post, she joined the Me Too hashtag, confirming that she had suffered the sexual harassment from Weinstein. And then in a 2018 interview with the New York Times, she talked about how he had assaulted her, and that she was also sexually assaulted by an actor nearly 20 years older than her when she was 16. So she became really important in the Me Too movement. And I think that's a very Venus-Uranus thing as well. So the next one on our list is Demi Lovato. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are fans or, whatever. So I think the important thing is the archetypal resonance. Let's see here. Okay, so let's go to, I'm going to show the screen with Demi Lovato. Okay, there she is. That's a great picture of her. At least I feel like it's very Venus-Uranus, where there's something sort of unorthodox and iconoclastic about Venus-Uranus. Often you'll see like some, at least, breaking of the normal patterns for yourself, if not socially or something like that. So anyway, one of the first albums that she made was, wait a sec. No. I'm sorry. I'm getting this here. Here I go again. Not being an expert on Demi Lovato, but having just read a bunch. Yeah, I think one of her albums that is strikingly Venus-Uranus and was apparently very important in the development of her career, which I know very little about Demi Lovato. I've never really listened to her music even. But the album Confident, this one was, where was that detail? Da, 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 da. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it was. I see. Confident was nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album at the 59th Annual Grammy Awards, and it was her first career Grammy nomination. So that's the breakthrough piece of it. I was like, where is that piece that I was looking at? So one of the things that that's interesting about this album is that she describes it as being the most authentic to who I am, and that it was all about confidence and feeling confident in herself, her body, her work, her style, her appearance. Like, so what I like is that her major breakthrough album was literally called Confident. And in terms of a Grammy nomination, that's a huge breakthrough in your career as an artist, I would imagine. And that the album was called Confident, and it dealt with all of these themes about your sexual identity, your physical appearance, your art, your style, your choices. She said it was an album that was very much about empowering herself as a woman and an artist. And so I found that to be like super Venus Uranus, even though I've never heard the album. I just looked at some of the songs quickly and, just did like a few little listens on YouTube and stuff. So I don't really know her work, but I thought that seemed like a very powerful example. So I don't know, you guys, anyone fans of Demi Lovato, and tell me what you think about her as a Venus Uranus character. Maybe fill in some of the blanks for us, since she's one of the ones that I didn't know a lot about. All right, last but not least on the list is Bjork. Come on. Come on. How could Bjork not be in this, right? So let's take a look at Bjork. This is the one where I'm like, look, need we say more? Like, look at that picture. She is the literal embodiment of Venus Uranus. Now, I'll just tell you this. I have been a big Bjork fan since high school. I've gone and seen her in concert in Atlanta. And it was, I think, right alongside of Radiohead, the two most memorable concerts I've ever been to in my life. Purely from the stage, like the standpoint of like the stagecraft and the like production value of the show. It was like going to a Broadway show or something. I mean, it was absolutely incredible and artistic, and the costumes and the lights, and I mean, next level artistry. Really imaginative, super otherworldly, sci-fi meets post-apocalyptic fantasy meets like, angels flying around in the northern lights. I mean, it was insane. And her voice and her artwork is, first of all, she's always been a feminist. She's always been very much about the empowerment and freedom of artistic expression. She will not and does not compromise at all, and is very famous for being completely unflinchingly like, I will not compromise with regard to artistic presentation, her dress, her aesthetic. And so I think she is one of the most successful and quintessential examples of Venus Uranus. Like, you may not like her music so much, but you just cannot deny that she is one of the greatest examples of Venus trine Uranus in the history of like modern women's, like modern divas. You know what I mean? So anyway, hats off to you, Bjork, for rounding off our list. So Bjork has a ton of, I mean, I didn't even know where to start with her, because I feel like she's such a like historical, it's very similar, like on the masculine side of things, to like David Bowie. Like to me, she's like right up there in terms of the artistic genius that she's working with. Like whoever her daimon is, like I'd like to have coffee with her daimon. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and that this was like just a fun way to consider the archetypes at work. If you guys have anyone else to add to the list, I did trines. You could also do oppositions or squares. So I think the trine is unique because trines often represent breakthroughs. And so what I tried to do was focus on divas who had breakthroughs in their career that were themselves reflective of Venus-Uranus dynamics. So Confident, that album, God is a Woman, stuff like that. So anyway, this was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be back for more tomorrow. All right, take it easy, everyone. Bye.